You guys see the video of the bear attacking the kayak?
Oh, with the dumb chick in Alaska?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he was attacking. I'd say he was more of like poking and eating.
Bear! Please stop that, bear! That's what I say to Wayne sometimes when he comes out, when we go out for a smoke. I'll just be like, Wayne! Stop that, Wayne! Please! It's the end of September! You're supposed to be sleeping!
Well, you made him mad. You pepper sprayed him in the face.
He didn't give me a cigarette when I asked him for one. And then he decided to destroy my inflatable.
He's just kicking it around.
Overreaction.
Please! It's the end of September! You're supposed to be sleeping! Hello, everybody, and welcome to Matt in the Man Cave. I'm Matt Howes,
And I'm Brook Hubbs.
and we have here today guests Chad Cook from Raised by Tunes and Wayne Wolfe. Hi, guys.
Hey, great to have you.
Hi,
come
everybody.
back.
I'm Rodrigo, but you can call me Wayne. I got ants in my butts and I likes the struts. Ooh, ah.
Rodrigo?
What?
All right, this is going to be
Anyway.
good. This is going to be good.
Okay, so today we're gonna wrap up a little bit from the stuff that we talked about last week. Gonna go into some Until Dawn action.
Nice.
Gonna go down the road with some Rock Band 4 stuff, which is dropping on Tuesday. We got Blizzard and we got Alpha Protocol in the room with us right now. The whole Blizzard,
They're all here.
the Blizzard of
crazy.
'78,
Straight out of Irvine.
straight out of Irvine.
And Dragon Age.
And Dragon Age.
Okay.
A compendium of sorts of Dragon Age and all the DLC. First off, how are you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good, you know. It rained last night, so I'm feeling pretty great this morning.
So the drought's over.
No.
So it like rained. Like there was water on the ground still when you woke up this morning,
It
right?
was kind of already gone.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like the rain because it messes with my inner ear, so I've hearing issues today.
Are you like 90?
Well, like, when you're talking about,
Rodriguez.
He's a shaman.
You can't get his ears wet when he showers.
when you're
It's-
talking about your wrap up for like Until Dawn, I instantly just thought like until like tilling the soil dawn. I thought it was like a farm simulator, but anyway, continue.
Okay,
Okay.
I will.
All right.
I will absolutely do that. I guess we'll just kind of move right into move right by that statement right there. Going to Until Dawn.
No,
Until
wrap up. We
Dawn.
want to wrap up.
Oh, we'll wrap up. Silly me.
Let's
How
just get
dare I
this taken
forget?
care of.
So last week we talked about a little bit about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4.
5.
5. There's lots of 4s, lots of what we talked about Tony Hawk last week. And we were all really excited to get, we were like, yeah, oh my God, it's been so long since I've played a Tony Hawk game. I can't wait to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. Well, I went to work on, I think it was Wednesday, because it dropped this past Tuesday. And the amount of posts that said how broken this game was from the get-go were awful. Now, on Tuesday when it dropped, I went onto the PlayStation Store and I looked. I'm like, oh, cool. I'll watch the little video because it wasn't a trailer or anything. It was like the developers talking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm watching what I thought were clips from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 or Tony Hawk Underground. I'm like, oh, cool. So they're showing clips about the stuff and then they're going to drop the game's epic level PS4 graphics on me. And then I'm like, oh, they didn't do anything to the graphics whatsoever. Apparently, they just said, let's just work on core gameplay. We don't need fancy, smooth graphics for anything. It literally looks like Tony Hawk
I
Pro
was
Skater 3.
reading about it. I
Right.
can't remember it's not
Activision.
It's Activision.
Yeah.
But Neversoft, right?
Neversoft. Did they do this
originals.
one?
They did the originals. And they were consulted on making this one have the look of the old games, and I think they went a little too far.
They
making
gave
it look
the
exactly like the old games.
Also, apparently, from the image I saw, It is incredibly broken. Like, there was an image of a person's character inside of the half pipe with their face sticking out like a fucking horror film. And I'm like, cool. So I'm really glad that I didn't drop $60 on a game I probably would have spent, even if it was not a broken game, probably would have spent a couple hours playing and then said, there's plenty of more stuff dropping this month. I don't need to play this anymore. But, oh my God. It literally, did you guys see any of the gameplay footage or any of the stuff for it?
I did. I thought it was I thought it was flashing back to like 14 years ago.
I swear to God, I thought it was like, oh, cool. Let's get a little nostalgia going in this trailer.
Well, here's hoping an update comes soon for that, right?
Oh, I don't think you can update that. I think they're gonna have to go ahead and do Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn. They're gonna have to rip Final Fantasy 14 down completely and build it up again from the ground up. So we'll get Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5: A Realm Reborn.
I think they should like fully embrace it though. Like maybe throw in a whole bunch of references from the early '90s. Like throw in some like the Crash Bandicoot character, like fully like pixelated and like polygons.
Oh yeah,
You know,
like
just-
the same shitty character model he
just
had.
like fully like embrace. Like we meant to do all this retro style graphics because that's like the next big thing.
Yeah, it's the 8-bit Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Well, I mean, like, give it a couple years, you'll probably get an HD revamp for the system, like they do with every fucking game.
I think they have. I think you can play Tony Hawk's 2 or something
Really?
like that on PlayStation Now or whatever Tony Hawk they had for PlayStation 3. I think was available. But I'm not interested. Thank you, Activision. You've been great. I'm dropping the mic on that
I'm
one.
glad, you took the time to bring back a franchise that is dear to our hearts. I didn't even know it was coming out until like 2 weeks ago, and then it dropped, and it doesn't even seem
don't
like
think
it's
they did
worth
either.
getting.
It looks like they were not aware that the date
no one
was
knew.
coming out.
I think what happened was Lil Wayne just went up to someone and said, "Hey, put me in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3." And he's like, "Shouldn't we do like the newest Pro Skater?" He's like, "Nah."
Does Tony Hawk even skate
and then
anymore?
Tony Hawk was
His son
like,
does.
"Okay,
His
yeah,
son-
I guess
okay.
we can release this. We'll put it on Conan O'Brien, and then people will know it exists."
All right.
Son of Hawk 64.
Son of Hawk.
Hawk 64. Jeez. Well, so my review of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, judging a book by its cover is what we'll call that, is 0 stars. What else? You were talking about Jurassic World was going to have an update.
Yeah, it was being teased. They were teasing the Mosasaur, the big sea monster, vagina monster.
My vagina
from the
monster.
movie. They were teasing it, and we were talking like, how's that going to factor into the game that they have now, where you have the dinosaurs fighting? So they dropped the update, and instead of having it be a creature that fights the land dinosaurs, they're going to have a whole new like challenge section for underwater dinosaurs. So it's going to be the Mosasaur. They broke it down into like 3 parts. There's like beach level. There's like ground, like seafloor level creatures, but they haven't released any of them yet. They're just laying down the groundwork and the coding right now. The big release was a tournament to win the Mosasaur once that update comes out, November 1st, I believe.
Are you going to be able to fight your land? I didn't care. The land monsters can fight the sea monsters?
No, it's going to be a whole different.
So they basically split the game.
Well, what happened with the Jurassic Park game that was out for a few years is they had 3 different parks that you'd build. There was the dinosaur park, the water park, and then they had like a Ice Age kind of style park with like mammoths and saber-toothed tigers, stuff like that. So it looks like they're kind of doing the same thing with this one. So, excuse me, right now the tournament is a 30-day tournament just to try to get to the top tier. There's like 6 different tiers, and every time you pass one, you get a card pack, and it all leads up to winning the Mosasaur, which looks like it will be available come November 1st. So that's pretty cool.
excited.
Right now, they need to do an update on this update, though, because it's having crashing problems when you win matches.
Is there any like stuff in there that when you pay? Oh, when you win, it crashes?
You still get your rewards when you sign back in, but you don't get to spin the wheel like I've shown you before.
Oh, okay.
It just will tell you, this is what you won.
Hey, just so you know. So, okay. Is there stuff in that game, like most mobile games, is there things in that game that you buy with real money that can really tip the scales, or can you eventually get all the stuff without having to spend real money?
Yes, but not in the way that a lot of other mobile games do, because there's different ways that you purchase things. There's like the coin money, which is how you purchase things, and then there's DNA points, which is how you get dinosaurs and evolved dinosaurs. And then there's the dollar bill money, which you can buy, but it's only really good for speeding things up.
Okay.
So it doesn't really help you with your purchases, but it can help you with your wait times. I haven't spent any money on it. I've been very adamant about not spending money on mobile games for a long time.
Fallout Shelter took me for a good 20 clams. Gotta buy those lunch boxes. Gotta love it. But the update's out, so now they just kind of got to patch it to fix the
Yeah, there's got to be a
issue.
little patch, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm on I got up to the 5th tier of the 6, and then I stopped playing, and everyone else started playing, so now I'm down to the 4th. I got to work my way back up, but it's been a lot of fun, and they added 2 new dinosaurs to the regular dinosaur pack, and 2 new evolution or what would you call them, hybrids. Because you can combine dinosaurs if you get them to a certain point, like the movie.
Dino DNA.
Dino DNA.
Is that character in the game? The
Dinosaur.
I've yet to see the Indominus show up in gameplay because it's like the hardest one to evolve to.
But it is an option to get to.
Eventually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got for Jurassic World.
Cool,
Okay.
cool. You guys ever play that game?
I played
no.
it briefly.
I was thinking about getting it, but I might as well. I got plenty of time at
It's
work.
fun.
I
Yeah.
already play too many mobile games as is, though.
Yeah,
I can't add
that's-
another one.
Lots of mobile games. So I guess moving on, right?
Yeah.
Until Dawn game came out about, I'd say, month and change, right? Very, very amazing. In every aspect of this game, sans the one crash that I had, and that may have came from playing it 12 hours straight and just there's just not enough time in the world for it. This game scared the shit out of me and Brook. We sat down thinking what was it to play it for like a couple hours.
We spent a whole Sunday on it.
We're like, we'll just play a couple hours and then we'll just move on and enjoy our Sunday. Well, we sat down and we played through the entire game.
Wow.
It was, have you played it yet?
No, I've not. I'm not updated to the new console.
Oh, that's right,
Yet,
that's right.
so.
I've watched people play it on Twitch, so I can watch their reactions to the jump scares, and it looks really good.
Like the amount of options that you get like in this game. And at first when I finished, because when we finished it, I thought that there was limited changes. Like it's one of those games where no matter what, it's all going to end the same way. And I mean, realistically, it does end the same way, but the amount of changes based on who is still alive at the end, you have control over 6 characters. 8 characters. And they literally, all of them can die.
Wow.
You could end the game at earliest as the last death in the game, or you can finish the story out, and everyone can live and everyone can die. And there were times throughout this, it's been out long enough, there are times throughout this game where I'm like, oh, how could I have possibly stopped that person from dying? And it's just like, and maybe they didn't die. Maybe they did die. It's ridiculous. What do you think about it?
Let's break it down for anyone listening who is not familiar with the game.
Yeah.
Until Dawn is a PS4 exclusive, and it's a survival horror game with choose your adventure style options. And you have control varying, switching back and forth between these 8 people who are going up to like a mansion in the woods for an evening.
One of
for
the
a
main
weekend.
characters' family owns a large complex up on a mountain, and you go up. You actually start the game at that complex on the mountain, or it's a big mansion on the mountain. You start the game there, and it introduces you, familiarizes you with the gameplay, from how you're supposed to do things, how you interact with the various different controls that you would from a normal game, and you play through the prologue. And once you get to the end of the prologue, where it kind of gives you a taste of everything you're going to have to deal with QTEs, like you have to hit triangle before the timer runs out, or else something bad's going to happen, or your trip or something like that. You zoom fast forward to a year later. There were 2 girls at the beginning.
Yeah, so there are 2. My throat's all messed up today. Sorry. There were 10 characters in the beginning in the prologue. They're all on the weekend trip. 2 of them, let's say, die.
Let's say, shall we?
As far as everyone else is concerned, they go falling off a cliff. No one knows where they are. They all are like, crap, they're dead.
Yeah, according to the news, they're missing.
So those were 2 sisters, and then their brother is one of the friends. And so a year later, the brother gets all of the other friends to come back up to the mountain for a weekend to kind of remember what happened, but also to try and move past it as a group of friends. And that's when the game really starts.
You start as Hayden Panettiere on a bus. Hayden Panettiere?
Panettiere.
Panettiere. On a bus, riding to the mountain place, whatever, and you're watching a video. First, you're listening to the news broadcast because it basically goes a year later. It zooms in on the bus. You're coming in, and it's like, a year to the day on the anniversary of the disappearance of these two girls, and blah blah blah. And it kind of gives you a brief. It's been a year since we were up there last time. Then it shows a video message you got from the main character, who is actually, or from one of the guys who's the main character from Mr. Robot,
Remy Malik.
Remy Malik, and all the character models are perfectly 100%. Representative of the people who are on them, which is cool. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But
Agent Ward from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agent Ward, the Abruzzi from Prison Break and many other things. But so he's basically going, he's like, hey guys, I really appreciate you all coming up here. I know last year really sucked. His sisters died. And it's like, I know it was awful. But I think that we should all just get together and just move past it, and let's try and he goes, well, party like we're porn stars. And I'm like, that's a great beginning to a thing. And so that sets up to the whole thing, to where to the start of everything.
And the graphics are phenomenal. The atmosphere created in the scenery and just the way that it's all composed is
score
beautiful.
The
score is amazing. It's like, I don't watch video games. I don't watch people play video games very often. This was a very watchable game. I only watched it. I didn't play it. You were playing it the whole time.
I played the whole game, and it was basically a horror movie that we were playing.
Now, in that context of a horror movie, was it more jump scare-ish, or was it the just all-around creepy kind of...
It actually, here's how, like a horror movie. Okay, the game moves from creepy jump scare, like it slowly gets creepier, slowly gets more intense as things start happening, and then towards the final chapters of the game, it turns action. Jump scare, action, like a horror movie. At the end, you're always running away from something, or you're being chased. You got to do something about it. But it is just the right levels of, I'm constantly terrified to go around the corner. I was screaming.
Yes.
My screams caused Brook to scream.
Yeah.
Like, there are some really good jump scares, and they're like in true horror movie fashion. This whole thing takes place like it completely mirrors some good horror movies and some bad ones. Like the jump scare, and like, oh, it's just a broomstick or something falling over.
Yeah, you're walking through the woods and a deer jumps out past you. Fuck!
God damn it, that's not scary. It's a deer.
And what about the gore? Is it like? Is it just as bad as like
there are some
Silent Hill or...
pretty graphic scenes? You remember any of your fan favorites graphics wise?
An optional death, if you will, of I won't say which character. One character gets hung on a hook through his chin, like his jaw. And it's just kind of one of those, like, you see him get like picked up, you're like, oh no, what? And then smash, and you go, oh,
And there's no coming back from that, by the way. I was like, maybe he lived, maybe he got himself up.
Because we thought we lost a few characters through it, and then they just show up. And
you're like,
I guess I'm okay.
They were just off healing somewhere. One death in the game, you literally... someone gets sawed in half by a spinning saw blade, and it is graphic and gruesome and awful. And you, not only that, but there are people like you and another character are watching this happen. There's some creepy Saw shit in it too. One of the things you have to do towards the middle is you and a girl are sitting at a table, like you're chained to it, and there's a gun in the middle, and above you is a mechanism that has two spinning saw blades coming down. And they're slowly lowering down, and then the creepy masked, jigsaw guy who's been caught, like, because every so often basically, like, you'll get he'll be like, oh, you need to do this, like the first thing, and he's like, there's a gun on the table with one bullet, and if one of you needs to die, so you either shoot the person on the other side of the table, and you're all friends. So it's not like the Saw where there's basically strangers, where anyone would be like, okay, boom, you're out. You either shoot your friends.
It's the dude who's making the choice has to shoot himself or the girl that he likes.
He loves this chick. And if no one shoots anyone, these saws are slowly lowering, so you're running out of time, and you're both going to get your heads cut off by saws. So it mixed like Saw and I can't think of any other like
very
horror.
like Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah,
before the big ending,
right?
Where it's just like a some kind of monster thing out in the woods. Yeah. And what was it? Oh, the hold still function.
Ooh,
is trippy. There are times where because it'll give you options during like cutscenes, so you always have to be ready for something to happen, and a lot of the times you have to like hold still. And by holding still means don't move the controller at all.
On the PS4, the light bar.
Yeah.
This is actually one of my least favorite features of the PS4 controller. Is it has a light on the front, which is cool. You know, different character. When you have people logged into your different colors, it's whatever. Mm-hmm. But the light bar gets picked up as a sensor by the system. So this one was like you have to hold still, you can't move the light bar. Me, I just put the controller down after I figured this out. I'm like, I can't, because I cannot hold it. I tried, because the first time you get hit with it, you get to keep doing it until you figure it out, because it's one of those kind of things. So like, because you're not going to get this the first time. I just put it down on the table and wait. I'm like,
there's this great bit at the very end where everyone is in these situations where everyone could die at any second. And you keep alternating between character and character, and each one has to like hold still. And Matt got tripped up by like one of them at the last minute, and it was Hayden Panettiere's character. He just didn't hold still fast enough, and it was like in the last 30 seconds of the game that she just dies. He's like, no!
She doesn't just die. She gets her fucking heart ripped out of her chest.
You didn't save the cheerleader, man.
And I'm like, God damn. And I'm like, first off, Hayden Panettiere is in a towel for half of this game, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
and let's say that the character models are flattering, okay? But yeah, it is an amazing play. I honestly think it's probably the best game I've played all year. Wow. Like as in like full game, like taking everything into account.
Experience.
Yeah, I couldn't put this game down. It's been years since I haven't been able to put a game down. And it literally, the score matched so perfectly what you were doing the entire time. The composer in this game, I will have to look him up. I'm going to put it on our Facebook later, but I cannot believe how well it all worked together. And then, the character models were the people. They were actors, just cel-shaded, basically. Like, it looked so real, and it was amazing. So I would highly recommend, if you guys get a PS4 at some point, you have to play it.
Duly
That's
noted.
my recommendation.
List.
Anything else for Until Dawn?
Go buy it.
Go buy it. One thing I want to touch on quickly is just the Dragon Age stuff, because I've been playing through. I finally played through all the DLC for Dragon Age. So if you haven't played Dragon Age Inquisition, this is the third installment in the series. BioWare EA makes wonderful games with Mass Effect 2. As well, not the second one. And basically, I'm not going to explain to you what Dragon Age is, because if you haven't played them yet, you can go figure it out. But the DLC, the first one, so you start off the Inquisition, the whole thing. So I'll go briefly. A Fade Rift opens above the country, or Theodos, or the world, or whatever, and you're going around trying to stop it. You get this cool mark on your hands that like you can use to close these Fade Rifts, and you're fighting Corypheus, and you have to kill him. He's like the ultimate bad guy who wants to basically bring all the demons from the other side of the Fade back and just completely destroy everything in the world. Spoiler alert, you kill him at the end. Go figure. Wayne's holding his ears. Just Wayne, just earmuff it through the rest of this one. It's fine. The first one, you go to a whole new area. You get to an area that was never able in the first one. You fight an ice dragon. That's pretty cool. Nice. You're looking to find out the fate of the previous Inquisitor, which you are the Inquisitor in this one. Basically, you bring together the world to fight things. So it's not countries like Ferelden and Orlais are the two primary countries that are doing this thing, but it's less political.
What are they called?
Ferelden
and
Orlais.
Orlais.
Oh,
Orlais. Sorry.
No, that's okay. And you basically create the Inquisition, get agents to stop everything, to stop all the bad things from happening, close the Fade Rifts, defeat Corypheus, blah, blah, blah. Well, someone said, oh, we figured out what might have happened to the last Inquisitor like 800 years ago. And you go in, and basically, once you get to the end of this DLC, the 800-year-old Inquisitor is trapped in a frozen shot. Like, he's literally in time frozen with the giant ice dragon.
Wow.
That was the embodiment of a bad clan's god. So, like, they completely turned this guy. They're like, okay, we're going to make this dragon. And the only way this guy wasn't strong enough to stop it. And he, you know, you kind of unfreeze him. And he's like, well, you know that you did that. Now this guy's going to get out and he's going to start fucking things up again. And, you know, the dragon runs off and flies away. And I'm like, my option was like, oh, yeah. I'm like, I've killed gods before, no big deal. So you go, you take them out. It's a pretty decent, nice story. It's very well thought through. The second one was The Descent. You go into the deep roads, which you'd never really explored very much of in any of the games. That's kind of cool. You go all the way down to the bottom of like everything, which is basically the center of the earth. You are looking for these. You think that there's earthquakes that are happening. They think that there's titans down there that are causing these earthquakes to happen. You fight through a bunch of crap. It's actually pretty short. It's very linear. There's not very many to go. Like, you go straight down. You get to the bottom, and there's a big guardian thing. But like, once you get, it's all dark and creepy. And there's like an ocean at the bottom of it. So you're like, oh, cool, this has got to be the bottom. Like, it's just like well water at the bottom. Then you open this door, and it's literally, you're looking over this brightly lit floating islands with trees and shit on them, all the way in the center of the fucking earth. Wow. And I'm like, what the hell is this? You walk through it, you're fighting these guardian things, and there's another guardian. Everything's a guardian in this game. And so you beat the core guardian, and it's like, wait, but was that the Titan? And then the guy's like, no. We're in the Titan.
What?
Apparently the Titan, the whole planet is what they lead you to believe. The whole planet you're on is the Titan. Like, that's it. That's the whole thing. Pretty cool. Really short.
It was like broccoli that he ate.
Yeah, and that was just broccoli. There's all the trees and stuff like that. But why I did all this lead up was that the final chapter in the DLC came out. It's called the Trespasser DLC, and it actually sets up the state for Dragon Age 4 when it comes out, which is really cool. In the Trespasser, your Mark of your Rift thing that you have on your hand is starting to fuck up. Like, it's like every so often it's like hurting you, and you have to like discharge the energy, which at first does nothing. Throughout the progression of this thing, you actually get really cool powers. Like, it starts hurting enemies, and it starts like freezing things, and you're going through trying to find out why the Kunari, which are the big like devil-looking guys in the game, they're just a race of people, but they like have horns and stuff like that. Why they are trying to fight and kill, like they just basically started a war with the people. And you're going through all these illuvians, which are mirrors, which kind of allow you to pass through dimensions and stuff like that. And you go all the way to the end of it, and it's basically says to you, like, you know, you fight the bad. I'm not going to kill the whole thing. It's This one's also very linear. You kill the big boss, which doesn't even have a lead in. It's not like, oh, this is the bad guy. It's just some bad thing that just it's like a regular demon keeps popping up. And then you finish that, and you're like, oh, there's got to be more. And then you walk away, and Solus, who's a mage that leaves at the end of the first game, comes back, and he's like, hey man, you killed that. That's great. By the way, I'm 10 million years old. I'm an elven god, and now there's going to be a huge war. That they tell you that there's going to be a giant war because the elves of old are going to come back and destroy and kill all the regular people of the world so that the elves can live in peace. And they're like super magical guys. Jeez. And I'm just sitting there, and they're like, oh, the end. Bye. See you at Dragon Age 4. And I was like, what the fuck? But that was my quick Dragon Age blurb. Wayne, you know a little bit about some Blizzard projects, don't you?
I do.
Why don't you give me some Blizzard?
Well, I've been a Blizzard fan since back when I was just a Lil Wayne. And, upcoming here in the next month or so, we're going to have the final installment of StarCraft 2. So
Legacy of the Void.
Legacy of the Void. And it's the final chapter, which follows the Protoss and going through and showing like they're like the part of the origin of the universe for life. Like they're like part of the. I
They're
can't
like
think of
energy, right?
well, no, I can't really think of the name of the race that made them, but they were made by like the old gods, and then they like helped make the Zerg and like all this stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just this magical story that is going to be ending and wrapped up, and I'm really freaked out about it because I don't want it to end because Blizzard has said that they don't know what they can do after Legacy of the Void. And that freaks me out. Because, like, no, StarCraft is one of my favorite franchises.
It's StarCraft 3.
Yeah, they'll figure something out, but I mean,
It'll be like another 15 years, though.
Yeah, it was
that.
quite a bit since StarCraft 1.
Yeah. I mean, like, how many, 10 years between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3?
Yeah.
Blizzard is not shy about waiting a really long time to release a sequel to a game. They're like, okay, we'll
I
just
think
do
they're
that.
doing just fine.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
Oh,
World
they're
of
making
Warcraft.
tons of money. Like, Hearthstone, like, I think there's over, like, 120 million players of that game actively.
That's a
which
free-to-play
is-
game, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. I mean, like,
You can buy the card
You
packs
can buy
or
the
whatever.
card packs.
Yeah.
You can earn the card packs through playing and winning and
Yeah, I've got
all
a
that
couple
stuff.
of those.
But it's kind of a catch-22. If you don't have the right cards, then you're gonna have a hard time winning to get more card packs. But no, I mean, like, the population of that game is like almost the size of like European countries. Like, it's crazy how many people play it.
Yeah.
Esports, man.
What's esports?
Esports are set like football, but on the internet for just
Like fantasy football?
No, not really. Just like sports where you play with your hands and your eyes on a computery thing or a console-y thing.
Like
But is
Madden
that-
2016?
Yeah, actually, I believe that's in one of the esports categories.
What? I don't know. Is esports a game or is it like? Or is it?
No, it's
You're not explaining it very
That's
well.
a genre.
It's a genre.
Yeah, it's a competitive gaming in general for any video games that you can essentially have multiplayer in and ranking systems.
So is it like a thing though? Like is there I go to esports.com and then I'm labeled, or are you just describing the category that like NHL 2016?
So there's an esports .com and they have like their own specific like league, and then like Blizzard, they do their own competitions. Like it's a multitude of different leagues, I guess you could say.
Okay, so do you do any esports?
No, but I watch a lot of them on Twitch.
So okay, cool. All right, so it's like basically they get a group of people together to play tournaments, or instead of just me and a buddy playing NHL like online. They're like, okay, we're gonna set up brackets and do it like that.
Oh,
something
yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
Okay, cool. I was just like, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Is Hearthstone considered an esport then?
Oh yeah, they have. They just had a $100,000 tournament.
Good.
like, 2
I was
weeks
just
ago.
wanting to clarify because you're talking Hearthstone and
Yeah, it just sucks.
you just go esports, man. Right?
I got paid to say that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Activision was like, "Hey, we heard you're doing that podcast." For
Hearthstone's a lot of
Activision
fun.
Hearthstone?
Have you
Yeah, it
guys?
is.
yeah.
Oh wow, I
Have
didn't know that.
Chad and Matt, have you guys played Hearthstone?
I played it a little bit. I wasn't that great at it, but I didn't suck terribly at it.
It was a lot of fun.
It takes a long time to get good at that game.
I know I asked both of you, and then we just skipped over Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no, I do play it on my iPad and everything. I'll lose every now and then, but sometimes I do win. It's the luck of the cards.
It's
Or I pretend I'm Yu-Gi-Oh and
Use the cards you need.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh so much, but yeah, no, it's on iPhone now, right?
Yeah,
because
it's
it
on
wasn't
mobile
on it
devices.
before.
Yeah, even on Android devices, they're growing massively.
It used to be just tablets, though, right?
It used to be
'Cause I've-
just the PC, and then they released it for the tablets, and then
Then they
released
upgraded to-
the iPhone and
okay.
Android.
But it sucks. You have to buy the. There was a DLC for it's like $14.99 for one adventure. With the
Well, see, the thing is, you don't actually have to buy those. You can actually use the in-game currency you earn from playing games to buy those as well.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and a lot of people they'll get a lot of that currency because they play that game a lot. Like
Yeah.
I myself, I'm actually 20 wins away from earning a golden card character, which
Yeah.
is 500 wins for that class,
Oh, geez.
which is like on average, people they'll win 1 in 4 games.
Right.
So like just by that, like if I'm on like the low end of the bracket, that's like
2,000 games.
2,000 games I have to play to get to that level.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know personally, though, I just found this out last week. I had a stat that popped up for one of the rankings I got, and it said that I'm considered in the top, 15 percentile of all the Hearthstone players in the world.
That's great.
Congratulations.
That's with a game that has 11 million users.
150 million.
I was a little off. Forgetting there's 150 million users and you're in the 15th percentile, that's a statistic.
Well done.
There you go.
But
Thank you.
I'd recommend it to people that haven't heard of it. If you're a fan of Warcraft, you probably know about it. But if you don't, it's worth playing. I'm not a Warcraft guy, but I got into it for a while. It was a lot of fun. Except I started playing. Wayne and I started playing, or you'd been playing a little bit, but I got into it when we went to a tournament that Twin Galaxies Live was doing.
Yeah.
And so I immediately got. They were just like, I was just there to hang out. Really, I drove you pretty much, and they're like, "Do you want to play?" And I was like, "I've never played." And they're like, "Here's a computer, learn how to play. We need an extra player." And so I just from the get go, I was playing against people that were a lot better than me, and so that helped quite a bit.
The first day he ever played
cool.
that game, he had to play against people that have been ranked legendary, which is the top 2 percentile. of the
Legendary.
entire-
I did not need clarification on what being ranked legendary
Talking about
is.
fucking trial by fire.
I mean, I lost hardcore, but they were like, "Hey, it's pretty good considering you never played."
Yeah.
So but it's fun to pick up and get to learn. It's pretty easy to get to learn too.
Yeah, I mean, it's also I think games probably at most last 10 minutes, right? Unless, if you're playing the PC, if you're playing the regular NPC guys, it's 5-10 minutes. But if you're playing people, you got to take time to. But it doesn't take forever. So if you want to get into it, it's not something that I lost. I just wasted an hour of my day. It's I lost. Cool. I can play another game before
it's all in the
lunch.
strategy of what class you're playing. For example, there's you could play as hunter. And they have their own specific ability that you could use against the enemy. You could play as a priest, a warlock, a paladin, a mage, a warrior. So it just encompasses a lot of things. And specifically for one of those fast games, there's something called a face hunter, where he just the cards he uses are all really cheap cards that die really easily, but he just floods the world with them and just keeps punching you in the face, and you don't have time to build up your strategy to survive. So you're generally dead within 4 or 5 minutes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And you can taunt people.
You can taunt. Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
it's so frustrating.
I like that I can press random spots of the screen and stuff will happen. I can push the top corner and a
the
window will
interactive
turn.
tabletop.
Yeah, really, really cool.
I'm very polite. I congratulate them on a nice move. Very well done. Well done.
I say well done when they fail.
Well, I know you could surrender early if you want, if you know you're going to fail. But I make them work for it. I'm like, I know I'm going to lose, but I ain't.
I'm gonna keep throwing
I'm
that
not giving
cannon
up.
fodder
I
up.
ain't
Yeah,
scared
whatever.
of nothing.
Whenever I hit anyone, I just say greetings. I say hello every time I hit somebody.
Nice.
Greetings.
But it's a easy because I never played any other card game stuff before, and it was easy for me to pick up very fast. So
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a basic, it makes you go through the tutorial. So I
Yeah.
like that because I will often choose to skip tutorials, but then I wonder why I'm not good at things. So, but
It's easier than Magic the Gathering, that's for sure.
yeah, no magic for me. But that's Hearthstone in a nutshell. Yeah, Chad, you've been playing a game.
Yep, Alpha Protocol. It was made by Obsidian Entertainment and Sega, and pretty much I think it was over in Germany or somewhere, but that's where it came out first. And it's PS3, 360, but the basics of the game is sort of like Mass Effect, where your choices affect the gameplay.
Right.
And you had certain decisions along the way if you decide to kill. Well, let me explain what it is. You're
tell.
a spy. You're a spy for a secret organization, and sort of like a Black Ops thing, and you can choose to be more like an action movie type of soldier or a spy or very techie. And pretty much you're sent into this one mission, and you're betrayed, and you go into hiding, and you try and solve who framed you, and stop all these terrorist stuff from happening. But in the process, you upgrade your character with different attributes, like if he's good with pistols or hand-to-hand combat or automatic weapons, explosives, and so on. And I thought it was very fun. The story it got good ratings for its story and stuff, but the gameplay could be kind of buggy at some points. And but I mean, the decisions and stuff that you make were very fun. One memorable moment from the game was I was fighting this Russian mob boss, and the boss fight is him on a music sound stage, and
Nice.
turn up the radio is just blasting on the radio, and he's got all these lights going around, and then he's just shooting Uzis at you with his men coming in. And midway in, when you hurt him enough, he just sniffs a bunch of coke, and he runs down with a knife and tries to stab you and stuff. It's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
But and I recommend the game. You can play it multiple times. I was on my second playthrough, trying to get the rest of the trophies because I'm a trophy hunter, which sadly.
Yep.
And
That's why you'll never.
yeah, that's
never
why I'll
get
never
it.
get a
That's
new
why you never
new
succeed in
game.
life.
Yeah. So but yeah, that's I think it's great. It was it wasn't shit. I forgot.
It
what
wasn't shit. You're
wasn't
goddamn
shit,
right. It was
yeah.
a great game.
Well, no, it was overwhelmed by other games that came out at the same time. It was like in June it came out of 2009. So I forget what else came out, but it was kind of under the radar there. So
If
I
Christopher
heard about
Walken
it.
could give it a 2-word review, like a
2 word.
rating, what would it be?
I believe he would probably say,
I think, being a spy is great. I'm not a big fan of guns, but when I got one in my hand, I use it. And it's great.
It's great. You heard it from Christopher.
Yeah,
Walken.
that's
What
the
about-
2
what
words.
about-
It's great.
What about Pacino? What do you have to say about it?
Hoorah!
2-word review.
Now,
Awesome.
and what about Bill Cosby?
It's
There we go.
The flippity floop.
flippity floppadoo.
Real quick, Chad, you had something to say about DLC, right?
Oh yeah,
Not for Alpha Protocol, but just in general.
not yeah. In general, I was kind of upset with like how games now it's all about DLC and they don't put it right in the game in the begin with. And it's great that you give extra songs like for Rock Band. Or,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I had a problem with it, like with Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
How there was 2 batches of DLC within the first week of the game being out. It's just like, here, please spend, like one of them was free.
Yeah.
But like, here, please spend $5 more for a game you just spent $60 on.
and then they do the season pass that's just like $30 extra when you buy the game. Sometimes it doesn't come out for months, and it's just ridiculous. I was like, what's the point? And maybe it's only one. Like I've had one game, one DLC came out.
I have
That
the
was it.
Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Like when I bought that, I had the Watch Dogs season pass. I don't think they came out with a content update, and it only expires after 6 months. So it's like realistically, I think I got maybe a gun pack, and I'm like, I beat the game. I don't need to go back with these guns or whatever the fuck I was using. But yeah, no, I'm like, cool. That's why I won't buy the season pass for things like unless it's like a Telltale game where the season pass gives you the episodes $5 cheaper than if you bought them individually. But yeah, no, it feels like they're rushing these games to get them out, and then they're adding DLC. They're like, oh, this was extra story. No, it was probably story
Yeah.
you originally intended to get to, but your harsh sell-by date got in the way.
They just have like a chart, like, okay, this is point A and point B. Point B is the end of the game. It's like, okay, well, let's chop it down to about 20% in, and then bam, that's point B, and then point C is the DLC. Badoo.
There we go.
You kind of went into a Bill Cosby.
I started to.
the
I had to-
DLC.
You see the DLC.
But with games like Rock Band
yeah.
4, that's coming out on Tuesday. I could have sworn when I went to the Rock Band preview party all those months ago, and I signed up for the pre-order at Amazon so I could get a chance to win the game early and blah, 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 that this game was coming out mid-October. I'm pretty sure there was a teen when I was signing up for it. It's coming out October 6th, which is this Tuesday. I happened to log into Amazon to see what I had pre-ordered, and it was like, oh, you ready to get Rock Band? It's coming to your doorstep on Tuesday. And I'm like, I should probably downgrade from the full band down to just the guitar. You have the choice, as always, to buy the full band with Rock Band 4, which is $250, but do not be fooled. It only comes with one guitar. So you will get the guitar, the drums, and the microphone, but the full band would actually come with another guitar so you could have your bass thing on there. So I just bought the regular one with the guitar because you can use all the legacy stuff. Like, so if you had Rock Band 3, 2, 1 and all the equipment still works, it's just an adapter you got to buy for it.
Nice.
So I'm like, I'm going to go pick some shit up at GameStop, or not GameStop, but Game Dude, or any place that sells like obscure video game stuff. Like, you could buy this stuff there. So you get the old drums and stuff like that. Are you excited, Brook,
Yes.
to play some Rock Band?
You can't hear it in my voice, but yes, I'm excited.
The set list for Rock Band 4 has gotten a lot of criticism. I'm not super excited about its initial set list. I am excited you get to carry over all your original stuff from the other games, so
nice.
it doesn't matter so much for me, because if you bought the upgrades for like 1 and 2, like where you would pay like $5, you can carry them over to the other game. Realistically, I don't know how it's going to work for PS4. You should be able to take that stuff if it's on your account that's what they said that you could do for this. So I'll have all that other crap plus any DLC that you bought in the past. You can still have access to that. That's what they said. Let's see how it works when they come out, because Tony Hawk was supposed to be good.
I just can't wait for the Taylor Swift DLC for Rock Band.
I'm actually waiting for the Taylor Swift Guitar Hero.
Is that a real thing?
Like the Green Day Guitar Hero, the Beatles Guitar Hero. Let's add Tay-Sway up to #1 Guitar
Tay-Sway,
Hero.
Hey-Way?
You know, Taylor Swift gets a lot of crap, but she's an amazing person. She's the voice of our generation.
And she looks great in some leggings.
It's just Brooke. Did we get to everything?
I think
I
so.
believe so.
Did we miss anything?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, get Rock Band, get Until Dawn. If you haven't played Alpha Protocol, play Alpha Protocol. We like Hearthstone here. We like Blizzard. Lego
us free
Dimensions.
games.
Like eventually, someone will talk about Lego Dimensions.
I will just for the second. I will mention that I was excited to get Lego Dimensions, but if you follow our Facebook page, immediately upon seeing it will cost $800 total to get the full experience out of Lego Dimensions, I remembered why I stopped buying Legos as a child.
It's like, play the full Lego Dimensions or buy a 4K TV.
Right? A friend of mine has it and he loves it. It's a really cool game, but like,
Is it that cool?
is it $800 worth of cool? Like, probably not. It is like, picture it like a collector's edition of a video game without there being a standard edition, because you do get to keep these things. They're going to be only able to be got, like, you can't just buy the Lego set of the Dimension stuff. So it is kind of cool that you'll have stuff, but if you don't have room, I'm imagining $800 of DLC takes up a shit ton of Lego room.
Yeah.
And I'm skeptical to spend a rent's
room.
equivalent amount of money
That is
on anything that's not like I spent that much money on brakes, and that was like a need to buy kind of thing. For a
Not
video
optional.
game, I don't know about that.
You don't need breaks, you need Lego Dimensions. Just don't rush home.
Just take your time.
I know you're
go
excited
downhill.
to play. Just take it slow.
Oh,
I
but
think
yeah,
that takes care of just what we're talking about today.
I think that's it. What
What
do
do
we
we
got?
got? What do we got next week?
Next week, I'm going to give my review on how Rock Band 4 holds up.
Sure.
Couple games dropping this month. I looked it up. I'm going to post a link to this website I go to that tells what's dropping this month. There was some I wanted to look at. I can't remember exactly what they were. But what else we got for next week?
Hopefully, I'll get around to playing Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Brooke wants to play Tomb Raider, the definitive edition. It's the same as the regular edition. They didn't change anything. So we'll talk about Tomb Raider. Chad, what are you going to talk about?
I'm going to be talking about... Wait, on this show or
week.
my show?
Nothing. Whatever. We'll figure it out next week.
Okay. Yeah.
Chad will talk eventually on
I will-
something.
on
Eventually, he'll have an opinion about something. I do believe next week my friend Lamar Harris is going to be joining us. He's really cool. He's worked with Operation Supply Drop, which is like video game tournaments that raise money for our troops overseas, which
Nice.
is really cool.
Yeah.
He'll talk more about that. I might be butchering what it actually is, but I know it has to do with our troops and video games and dropping stuff. So you can find Matt in the Man Cave on Facebook at Matt in the Man Cave. Everywhere else, Twitter, Instagram at some point, Twitch at the Matt Cave 42.
Pinterest?
Nope. Absolutely not. Nope.
Oh, we were about to thank you for coming on. Wayne, but now,
Thank you, Wayne, for not wanting to be thanked. You were good. Brooke, where can we find you at?
you can find me on Twitter at Brook_33, YouTube SupaFun33.
Chad, what you got?
You can find me on Twitter at Captain Mad Murdoch, CPTN, and you can
I couldn't spell it last time.
Yeah, there you go. And you can also find Raised by Tunes podcasts on Twitter, also on Facebook, and blah blah.
We'll link to it all on the Facebook
we'll get
post.
It all,
How about you, Wayne?
Well, you can find me on Twitter,
And
/
that's all the time we have for today, folks. I'm just kidding, Wayne.
/ Beardfella. You know, just how
Backslash beard fella.
or is it /?
How about
Twitter?
just /at?
Just Twitter @Beardfella.
You should switch it to Bear Fella.
Bearfella.
All right. Well, as we say here every week.
Wait. I just
Oh.
have to say, Matt, you did not talk about GTA Online once.
Oh my God. Well, if you must know about GTA Online.
All right, thanks everyone for listening. This was a great episode.
All right, guys. Well, see you next week. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. Definitely Rock Band, and hopefully a lot more. So thanks for tuning in. And as we say here every week on Matt in the Man Cave, see you later.